I know you want to send your clients their contract as quickly as possible, but how do you actually send that contract to them online? And how do you be sure that the clients have actually read the fine print prior to signing? Hi, and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Paige. I am the owner and lead attorney behind The Legal Page. In today's video, I am going to be showing you the most popular ways to send contracts to your clients online, and also what you should be including in emails when you send those contracts off. So the most popular way to send contracts to clients online is through what's called a CRM, or referred to as a client relations management system. Now, there's a lot of different online platforms that are CRMs out there on the internet, and so you would subscribe or pay a monthly fee to be able to get access to such CRMs. But CRMs are a really great way, if you don't know, to be able to interact with your clients, for you to send intake forms, and those CRMs will store customer and client information for you. And of course, one of the best things about CRMs is they have ways to securely send contracts to clients and ensure that the signature, the electronic signature when you send these contracts online, is valid. So how user-friendly are these CRMs? The good news is that usually you can just copy and paste text from a template contract that you have, either from the legal page or from another attorney that drafted the contract for you. And once you copy and paste those into their template builder, you're able to put in fillable information, and you can automate information in your template contracts as well within their CRM program. Now, this is really great because you can click on the contract template that you want to use when you're in your CRM system. You can easily fill in the information related to that client-specific project, and then voila, you send the contract off. Now, when the client signs the contract, and please be sure here that your client signs the contract before you sign the contract. And here's why. When the client signs the contract first, it means they are agreeing to everything that is within the four corners of that document. If you send the contract off to your client and there's any modifications or changes that need to be had, if you sign the contract previous to sending it to them, then you have to re-sign the contract again. Instead of just sending the document to the clients for them to review the contract, and then if they have any changes, you make those changes and resend the edited or modified contract to them. Then they sign, then you sign. So I always suggest that you as a business owner sign this online contract secondary to your client or clients. For security purposes, the best part of CRMs when sending online contracts is that they are able to validate electronic signatures. They do so by placing a timestamp on when that signature actually occurred, and then a location or IP address on where that signature happened. Once your client signs the contract in the CRM system, or clients, if there's multiple parties to a contract, you want all of your clients to sign the contract first, like I mentioned, then your CRM will notify you that all parties have signed, and now it's your turn to sign the document. Then once you sign the contract, it is valid because all parties have signed. That would become the effective date of the contract when all parties' signatures are on the bottom dotted line. And these CRMs will then automate a copy of all of the signatures on the contract, and they will send the copy of the contract to not only you, but the clients as well. It is really important for us here at the Legal Page to recommend only the best of the best CRMs. We have 3 that we highly recommend and that a lot of our TLP customers love using. Those are HoneyBook, Dubsado, and Sprout Studio. I've linked them below in the description box in case you want to check them out for yourself. I would also love to know down in the comments if you're using any of these CRMs and which one you like and why. Okay, now I wanted to quickly show you how to send your client contract in an online contract sending platform. I'm using HoneyBook here, but it's going to be similar across the board if you use Dubsado, 17 Hats, Sprout Studio, CloudSpot, any of those, or if you use HelloSign or DocuSign, it's going to be very similar. Essentially, once you have your contract ready to go online, this is a template contract that we have. I have some lorem ipsum language here, but essentially your contract will just look something along these lines. You're probably going to fill in information here related to, the specific scope of the services that you're providing. And this is just a really short contract. Our contract templates are a lot longer at the legal page, but for all intents and purposes, I just wanted to show you how to send this. So when you are trying to get your client's signature at the bottom, it is probably going to have you send an email to them. And then there's going to be a button at the bottom of this email. So probably after you sign off, okay? So like right here-ish in the middle of the email, there would be a button that says, sign contract or view contract. Now, these template emails that are sent using these online softwares usually just have something along these lines. I would like to share a contract with you. Please follow the link below to review and sign. Best, sign off. I'd put Paige here. So this is fine, but it actually does nothing in terms of legally protecting yourself to ensure that your clients have actually reviewed the most important terms of your contract, as I've talked about in this YouTube video so far. So what I wanted to do is show you how you can create a template email that you can use time and time again to send to your clients so that it is legally protecting you. The good news is we have this template email on a free legal page blog. So I will link this in the description below, but the blog is called Don't Send Your Client Contracts Without Explaining This Via Email. If you scroll down, we have the email template language right here that you can copy and paste and use. So I have already done that and put it in a template email here in HoneyBook. And so essentially what it does is it allows you to say, in your own terms, and of course you can change the beginning of this, thank you so much for chatting with me via FaceTime. Maybe that's how you contacted and had your initial, call with your client. I'm so excited to get to working on planning your event more in depth. In order to officially book your date, all I need for you to do is pay your retainer fee and sign the contract attached to this email. So once you open the contract and review it, please let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to jump on a call and go over it with you if you need further clarification. This is important because you're opening the door to them, having questions or having that open communication back and forth, whereby you're saying, I understand my contract. And so if you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to reach out. That makes you look more professional, I promise. And then this is the key here. You want to point out a couple specific clauses that you can take an extra peek at to make sure that everybody's on the same page. In legal terms, this is called a meeting of the minds. And what happened is, old school way of signing contracts is paper format, right? There was no computers, there was no internet. You had to legally print out the contract. All parties had to be there, or, you had to snail mail it back and forth to each other and have, one copy as the original. But usually you would meet in person, you'd sit down at a table, you'd talk about the contract if you needed to change anything or initial anything, and then you'd both sign on the bottom dotted line. And this is another way to do that, but to do it through the internet and through your online contract sending platform. So you are going to ask your clients to take an extra peek at a couple clauses to make sure that you have a meeting of the minds and you're both on the same page with your services and your business policies. So then, again, our clauses at the legal page are numbered, underlined, and bold, all of the headings. So it's really, really simple and clear to the clients when they open your contract what clause they need to look at. I suggest you do that if you don't have a TLP contract. Just do that for organizational purposes in your existing contract so it's really, really easy for your clients to navigate through. But essentially, you'd point out, like I said, I suggest 3 to 5 bullet points. And you'll say clause 2, fees and retainer. And then you explain here in your own words, like in layperson terms, what your policies are for them paying a retainer, when their due date is for the final invoice, and why. And you do that for all of these really important clauses here. That way, when your client opens the legal terms to your contract, Of course, it's going to be a little bit more, legal wording, legal heavy. It's going to be pretty concrete and succinct and to the point in plain language in your contract. But this way, you're able to really showcase your own brand tone, your own voice, and have that really collegial communication with your clients about what's in the contract prior to them signing. And again, you've already opened the door here before you've pointed these out, where if they have any, questions about it, they can ask you. And here's the trick, like I said, this gives you double proof and evidence. If something were to happen down the line about canceling or rescheduling, and not only was your policy stated in your contract and say your clients are either disputing it or, they're not happy with your rescheduling policy, not only did they agree to it by signing the contract, you also specifically pointed out that clause here in the email prior to them signing the contract. So again, it's double proof that they knew of your policies prior to hiring you. So that's why this type of email template is the best way to properly send your clients their contract. Hopefully that was helpful. Okay, and one last quick little thing. I know I said CRMs are great, but there's also just online signing contract platforms such as DocuSign, HelloSign, Adobe Sign. You know what I'm talking about here. Those aren't actually client relations management softwares. They're just programs where you put in your contract and you send the contract to your client. So those are great options as well. And usually they're less expensive. So if you're a newer business owner, that might be a great way to go at first for you to at least ensure that you're getting a valid electronic signature from all parties involved in the online contract. All in all, when it comes to sending contracts to your clients online, you absolutely have options. As you can tell, I always suggest maybe looking into and paying a little bit more to have a secure CRM system like Honeybook or Dubsado for you to send clients their contracts. Not only are these platforms easy and seamless for your clients to use, but it's a great way to keep all of your client management and communications in one place. And especially with signing contracts, it's really nice to be able to have access to those documents in a secure platform for you to be able to download PDFs, to send copies of the contract to the parties if requested, for them to be able to just access the link again and again for them to review the contract later on. I cannot say enough good things about CRMs. Please feel free to check out the link below in the description box to test out a few of these CRMs that I do recommend. Now, I know I've told you in this video that sending clients their contracts the right way is super important, but not only contracts are important legal documents, there are other legal documents you also need to have as a small business owner. So if you're wondering what those are, please watch this video that just popped up on your screen.